Oh yeah, so okay. So hey, thanks everyone for joining us on this third installment. And we are here today with Sue Bird from Long Insurance. Say hi everybody to Sue.
Hi.
She's joining us for our third installment when folks have actually kind of decided to move forward on a flood property, on a property that is in a floodplain of varying degrees. But today we're going to focus on one that needs insurance. What do you do if you're ready to move forward on a property that is going to need flood insurance, and you've already evaluated it, you've looked at the maps, you know you want to buy it? Well, the next stop is going to be your neighborhood insurance agent. And we're hoping that will be Sue. She is wonderful. She'll take great care of you. And so we're going to talk today with Sue a little bit about what that conversation is going to go like and what you need to be thinking about as a consumer.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Heather. Yeah, definitely a different wrinkle, of course, in your home buying process, but something to know about so that you're prepared to decide if that's going to be what you want to go forward with, of course.
Well, and is there any special paperwork or process if they're buying a house and it's going to require flood insurance that they're going to need to do during the home buying or after? Or is it just like a standard house, or how's this going to look for the consumer?
Right. So it's very possible if you're working with a lender to buy your home that you're going to need a flood insurance policy. And the paperwork that you would likely need, if possible, to get your quote to find out how much the policy is going to cost you annually, that would be an elevation certificate. That's what is provided to you by a surveyor that would come out and survey the property at a cost. And it can only help you if you get an elevation certificate. It certainly can't hurt, but they are $500 to $600 for that document to be prepared, and having that surveyor take a look at what's going on with the actual elevation at that particular property.
Great. Well, and sometimes I know sellers will have these, but sometimes they don't. So it's definitely a good thing to have your agent talk to the seller's agent about.
Correct.
Process. And now, do they have the option of what type of insurance to get? Like, can they go anywhere to get flood insurance, or how does that work? Can they just call up, like, say they're with Geico? Can they call up Geico to get flood insurance, or how does this process work?
Great question. Not all insurance companies sell. I don't know that Geico offers it, but of course we do. There is the preferred policy that you can get if you're in a flood zone that is not an AE flood zone, which is the most likely to have a flood. And so that's possible. If you are in an AE zone, it's best to go with a FEMA policy. There are private insurance flood policies available as well. However, us as an agency have determined that we are not going to offer those any longer. We've seen some problems with those claims getting paid, and we're not going to have any of our clients have any problems with that. So if you go with a FEMA policy, that's really going to be in your best interest.
Great. Okay. Well, and are those prices, the FEMA, are they kind of standardized around the country, or is it?
They are standardized. So whether it's ABC Flood Company or, HYZ Flood Company, they're all going to be the same price through FEMA. There are some changes coming up, however, in the flood insurance industry pricing. So some of the prices are going up depending on the cost of the property. And there hasn't been any updates in 50 years, so it's long overdue, clearly. So this is on the horizon starting in October of 2021.
Okay. Okay. No, that's really helpful. And I guess we want them to reach out to you as soon as possible during the purchase process if they're in the Southern Arizona area, or their insurance provider if they're somewhere else. Do you sell insurance? It's just throughout Arizona or all over the country, or?
Great question. So I'm licensed in several states, but I also have co-agents that are in every state.
Oh,
So while I have licenses for Washington, Oregon, Utah, Arizona, I believe Nevada, and I can help in those states, there's definitely agents that we have offices for other real estate companies in California and Colorado, all over the United States, actually. So we have a way to help anybody in any state. So.
oh, that's great. Okay. Well, and so they'll want to reach out to you and get connected either with someone else or work with you as soon as possible during the purchasing process if they find out it's in a flood zone and they're wanting to move forward, to figure out what those costs are going to be, right?
Right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with buying a home in a flood zone. It's just that you'll have to keep in mind that you're going to have that extra expense if you do that.
Right. Well, and people are often surprised when they relocate from other parts of the country because they're a desert and it's dry and they don't think about it raining. So they're like, well, how can there be flooding? You live in a desert. I don't get it. You don't have rivers everywhere. What's going on? So,
Right. Right. Well, sure. And we didn't have a very good monsoon last year, but of course that could change this year. And, that's when you find out where the low points are in Tucson. As you drive around town, you'll find out that, hey, that's can't even cross here. So,
right.
of course, then it does bring to mind, okay, yeah, there are flood zones around here because, I can't go through that dip right now. So just like in your background there, that's a flood area. So you
Right.
don't want to
Yes.
drive in that.
Right. Yes. This is one of the roads in Tucson. And yep, if you haven't seen video 1 and 2, please check them out in the series. We go over kind of the geography of Southern Arizona, why floods occur in deserts like Arizona. And we talk a little bit about some of the different risk zones and how to find that out for your house using the FEMA maps and things like that. But yeah, this is probably, within an hour or two of some downpour somewhere before the water is absorbed. And you definitely want to know that before buying a house back up in there or over in there, right? This was your driveway coming out, you want to know that before you purchase, for sure.
Right. Definitely. Definitely. No surprise later.
Right. Well, thanks so much, Sue. I really appreciate you being with us. And are there any other things that come up for home buyers to be thinking about in terms of risk in this part of the world? I know in some parts there's like they have plans for hurricanes and different things like that on different insurances for different issues. Is this our main thing to worry about in this part of the country in terms of risk of purchasing?
Yes, however, it seems lately more often than it had been, but we're starting to see more fires. So there are some situations going on. Some of my carriers have certain areas that they're not allowing us to write insurance for fire reasons. The fire that happened on Mount Lemmon, the Catalinas.
Oh, sure.
That definitely had an impact on some of the carriers allowing us to write business there because it's too close to where the most recent fire zone was. So that's something, and they look at the brush fire risk as well. So that's something that we're dealing with now too often. I haven't had too many clients affected by it in the area that I typically write in, but
Yeah.
definitely in some areas in Oro Valley, we're seeing some situations with that.
Oh, if folks are like right up against kind of the national forest or
Sure,
like
exactly.
that. Oh, that's interesting. I think that's something to check out too. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much for being with us and
Absolutely.
thanks for your time.
Thank you so much again, and I look forward to talking to you another time.
Great, thank you.
There.